Welcome back to lesson Real Numbers. We're on day 2 of Unit 1. We're going to be approximating irrational numbers. Our learning objective is 8-2b. So if you are taking the square root of a number and it is a non-perfect or not a perfect square, the result is an irrational number because when you key it into your calculator, it is going to give you decimals. It is going to be non-repeating and non-terminating decimals. And here are some more examples of irrational numbers. But we are going to go ahead and get rid of that one because we just want to focus specifically today on approximating irrational numbers, which is when you take the square root of a not perfect square. And that is right here in our second sentence. It says, without using a calculator, we can use our knowledge of perfect squares to find the approximate value of a square root of a number that is not a perfect square. And let's practice a few problems. It says place the following perfect squares on the number line below. So we know that the square root of 1 is 1. And let's get our symbol. I'm going to go ahead and put that one in there for you. And we know that the square root of 4, let's move this up, there we go. And we know that the square root of 4 is going to be 2. I've also done the example all the way down here at the end, the square root of 100. The square root of 100 is 10 because we all know that 10 times 10 is 100. So please take a minute and finish completing the notes here. Go ahead and fill in the rest of those perfect squares. I'm going to let you do that on your own for homework, and I'm going to go ahead and focus on non-perfect squares without using your calculator. So without using a calculator, place these numbers on the number line above. So the square root of 18. I'm not sure exactly what the square root is, but I can use my perfect squares to help me figure that out. And for example, I know that 4 times 4 is 16. And I know that 5 times 5 is 25. So I can estimate that somewhere in this area, I'm going to find the non-perfect square or square root of 18. Okay, so I know that the square root of 18 is going to be a little bit closer to 4 because it is closer to 16, and the square root of 16 is 4. So now let's go ahead and take a look at 78. Now I do not know immediately what the square root of 78 is, so let's use some of our perfect squares. I know that 8 times 8 is 64, and 9 times 9 is 81. So that means that I know that the square root of 78 has to fall somewhere between 8 and 9. And I am going to put it a little bit closer to the 9 because the square root of 78 is closer to the square root of 81. Okay, so I think I've done enough example problems for you here on this number line. I'm going to let you complete the rest of these on your own. And it says, let's go on to the next question. It says, between what two integers does the square root of 53 land between? So let's think about that. 53. Well, I know it's got to be bigger than 5 times 5 or 6 times 6 or even 7 times 7. Let's see, 7 times 7 is 49, and 8 times 8 is 64. So I know the square root of 53 is going to be between 7 and 8. Let's do one more together. Says, between what two integers does the square root of 8 belong? Well, let's think about that. I know that 4 times 4 is 16. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, so it's definitely going to be before 9. I'm sorry, before 3, because 3 squared is 9. But what else comes before 3? Well, that would be 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. So I know it's going to be between 2 and 3 is where the square root of 8 is going to fall. Okay, now it says use a calculator to check the placement of the irrational numbers on the number line. Please do not do this until you place them on the number line first. And then it says, would the square root of 28 be closer to 5 or 6? I'm going to let you guys answer this one on your own. We're going to scroll to the bottom of the notes. It says estimate the square root of 80 using the number line above. And I am going to do this one with you. So I will let you know if I key the square root of 80 into my calculator, that is going to equal approximately 8 9/10. Now I know this because, one, I can use my calculator, but I can also justify this answer because the square root of 81 is 9. 81, not 82. 81. The square root of 81 is 9, so I know that the square root of 80 is going to be just a little bit before 9. That is how I can rationalize the approximation of an irrational number. Now let's take a look at Nigel. He has a square photo. So right there, I'm going to stop you. What do you know to be true about a square photo? What do you know to be true about all 4 sides? You should be thinking to yourself, oh, well, if I have a square, then I know that all 4 sides of that square are going, well, that's not really a square. All 4 sides of a square are going to be the same. They're going to have the same length and they're going to have the same height. So if it has an area of 90, what is one side length? Now, we have practiced this with some cards, and we have practiced this with our calculator drills. I want you to think of the opposite of squaring. Hot, cold, left, right, square. What comes to mind? You should be thinking square root. I'm going to let you finish Nigel's question on your own. Please complete this problem here. And let's take a look at your last question. It says, if the lengths of segment AB is the square root of 117, the length of segment AB is what? Go ahead and key in your calculator second x squared. Type in 117 for 117. And then I want you to look at what's on your calculator. Between what 2 whole numbers is the square root of 117 going to be located? Now, on your calculator is 10 dot blah, 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 blah. Well, 10 and a decimal is going to be between the integers of 10 and 11. Okay, that concludes your notes. I would like for you to please complete the rest of these notes on your own. If you have any questions, please come and see me, and I will be happy to help answer any questions that you have. Now, after you complete these notes, please bring them to me in class. I'd like to check your answers. And then for homework, you're going to do a day 2 assignment and Get More Math. So let me type that on there. Your homework is in Get More Math, and it says day 2. It is going to be under your assignments, so I'll go ahead and put that in parentheses. And now, if you can't find it, let me know. It will not be activated and visible to you until after you complete the lesson. So if you don't see it, just remember, you're supposed to come check in with me so I see your notes and know you've completed it, and then I'll turn on your homework. Okay, that's it. Have a great day. Thank you.